It's now my pleasure to introduce our keynote commencement speaker, Monique Ellsworth. Monique serves as the Chief Executive Officer of Second Harvest of the Big Bend, where she leads efforts to alleviate hunger and strengthen food security across North Florida. She's been an active leader in Tallahassee's social services community since 2011, dedicating her career to addressing the root causes and consequences of poverty. Before joining Second Harvest in 2019, Monique was the executive director of a nonprofit best known for operating the Kearney Center, a hub for comprehensive services supporting individuals experiencing housing insecurity. Monique holds a master's degree in social work from Florida State University and continues to shape future practitioners as an instructor in our college. Please join me in welcoming Monique Ellsworth to the podium.
Graduates, families, faculty, mentors, and friends, good afternoon. Thanks. Before I say anything else, I want to take you with me for a moment that I will never forget. It was early morning, in the height of the pandemic, still dark outside. I pulled into the parking lot of the Governor's Square Mall, and there were already hundreds of cars in that parking lot. The trunks were popped, kids were asleep in back seats, parents were staring straight ahead, trying not to unravel. People who had never needed help a day in their life, and people who had needed help their entire life, all waiting in the same line. Fear was in the air, uncertainty everywhere, and yet movement. And standing in the middle of all of that chaos were social workers. We were directing traffic, welcoming families, translating, comforting, getting yelled at, getting hugged, making impossible decisions with limited resources, and then going home to worry about our own families. I remember watching all of that and thinking to myself, this is what courage looks like in real life. Not the loud kind, not the dramatic kind, not the kind that makes headlines, but the kind that shows up anyways. Graduates, that is the courage that you carry into this room today. And I want to begin by telling you something that I believe with my whole heart. This degree did not make you brave. It revealed that you already were. Today is deeply personal for me. I stood exactly where you are not too long ago, holding my master's in social work from Florida State University. This place shaped me. The faculty shaped me. The field placement humbled me. The late nights, the ethical gray areas, the moments of self-doubt, it all shaped me. I now have the great privilege to serve as CEO of Second Harvest of the Big Bend, and I can tell you plainly, I use the leadership skills today that were born right here in my social work education. You are graduating into a world that is heavy in many ways, and you already know that. You feel it. It's a world that's still holding the aftershocks of a global pandemic, a world flooded with trauma, instability, addiction, and mental health crisis. It's a place where poverty and insecurity and housing, they don't take turns, they stack. There's no sugarcoating that, but I need you to hear me just as clearly. You are not entering this moment by accident, you are entering it prepared. You have learned how to listen, how to sit with discomfort, how to hold complexity without collapsing into it, how to assess risk, how to navigate power, how to see systems, not just symptoms, how to see people, not just problems. And that matters more than you know. Early in my career, I believed that success meant fixing or solving, rescuing. I thought that if I just worked hard enough or cared deeply enough, if I stayed late enough, I could save everyone. The work, very gently and very painfully, taught me the truth. You cannot save everyone, but you can show up for someone, and that changes everything. You will not always witness the ending of the story. You won't always see the after. Sometimes the only thing that you will ever be is a brief, steady presence in the middle of someone's worst day. And sometimes that's exactly what saves them. There will be seasons when this work absolutely breaks your heart. There will be days when the paperwork feels endless, when the systems feel rigged, when the resources fall short, when the stories are too heavy to carry home, when you sit in your car at the end of your shift and just breathe before you can drive. And when those days come, and they will, I want you to hear this. Those moments do not mean that you chose the wrong profession. It means that you chose something real. After COVID, I had to right size my organization. I had to lay off people that I deeply loved and respected. These were brilliant, hardworking professionals who carried our mission through crisis. Walking through that season broke my heart. It taught me more about leadership and grief and responsibility than any textbook ever could. I'm grateful that I've been able to rehire some of those folks, and I'm humbled that still others choose to volunteer with us when they can. But that chapter changed me, and it reminded me of something essential. Leadership in social work is often about carrying grief and grace and still showing up the next day to serve. Here's what I want you to hear more than anything else today. Take care of yourself, not as an afterthought, not as a luxury, not when everything else is done, but as a core ethical responsibility. Burnout is not bravery. Exhaustion is not a badge of honor. Martyrdom is not a job requirement. You are not more committed because you are depleted. You are not more valuable because you never stop. Your rest is not failure of dedication. Your joy is not betrayal of the suffering that you will witness. Your boundaries are not barrier to care. They are what make care sustainable. You will be your most dangerous in the very best way when you are regulated, rested, curious, and connected. Let me say something, especially to those in the room who have been told that maybe you're too much or you're not enough, and sometimes both of those at the same time. You do not have to become hardened to be taken seriously. You do not have to be perfect to be powerful. You do not have to shrink to fit the systems that were never designed with your fullness in mind. You are allowed to lead with softness. You are allowed to lead with strength. You are allowed to lead with your whole humanity. Graduates, your path will not be linear. Your career will not unfold in the order that you expected. You will change jobs. You will outgrow identities. You will fail. And you will pivot. And you will surprise yourself. You will grieve versions of your life that you once wanted. You will discover callings that you never imagined. And that's not failure, that is movement. Stay curious. Let life keep interrupting your certainty. Let your neighbors keep changing your mind. Let your clients keep teaching you what textbooks never could. And when you feel discouraged, when the work feels slow, when change feels stubborn, when hope feels thin, I want you to remember something vital. The work is not always loud, but it is always consequential. You may never know the ripple effects of the moment you stayed when it would have been easier to leave. the conversations that you didn't rush, the resources you fought to unlock, the dignity that you protected, the story that you chose to believe. But I promise you, those ripples are real. Now, I want to talk to you not as a professional, but just as a human. This work will shape who you become. It will rearrange your nervous system. It will sharpen your empathy. It will expose your blind spots, and you have those. It will stretch your capacity, and it will ask more of you than you ever imagined. But it will also give you something extraordinary, a front row seat to human resilience, to dignity in impossible conditions, to healing that is slow and stubborn and sacred. You will witness pain, yes, but you will also witness courage in its truest form, and that will change you forever. So today, as you cross this threshold with your degrees in hand and your families behind you and your futures wide open, I do not want to wish you an easy road. I want to wish you a meaningful one. I hope you are placed exactly where your gifts are needed most. I hope that your voice grows steadier and harder to ignore. I hope you disrupt systems that were never built with dignity in mind. I hope you love fiercely and rest unapologetically and lead with your whole humanity. I hope you stay difficult in all the right ways. I hope you refuse to confuse compliance with justice. I hope you become the practitioner that you once needed. There will be moments when you wonder if this work matters, and when that happens, remember those long lines of cars. Remember the quiet bravery. Remember that showing up is often the revolution. Graduates, the world is hurting, but today, because of you, it is also more prepared to heal. So go be bold, go be steady, go be compassionate, go be honest, go be relentless in your hope. Go be the presence that steadies the room, or the voice that speaks when it might have been safer to stay silent. Go be the leader who still kneels beside the suffering. And before you leave this moment, before you scatter into clinics and courtrooms, shelters and schools, policy spaces and living rooms, remember, you were shaped right here in these classrooms, in these late night group projects, and the quiet moments of doubt and the loud moments of conviction. Florida State did not just educate you, it formed you. It sharpened your voice, it tested your values, it taught you how to sit with complexity and still choose compassion. You will carry this place with you in the way that you listen, in the way that you advocate, in the way that you hold both urgency and hope at the same time. So go, as Seminoles and as social workers, grounded, courageous, and deeply human. Congratulations, class of 2025. The world needs exactly who you have become, and I cannot wait to see what you do.